One beautiful summer day, Boris Bear was making a circle with some stones. He was building a fire because he wanted to surprise Barbara with a nice picnic on the hill. When the stones were ready, he went into the forest to find some wood to burn in the fire. At the same time, at Poppy's place, Poppy was saying to her niece Grunty, "This is such a lovely day. Why don't we go to the hill and have a picnic?" "That's a good idea," said Grunty. "Let's bring lots of carrots." Meanwhile, Mother and Father Bunny were having the very same idea. "This is such a splendid day," said Miffy's mother. "We can all go to the hillside for a picnic." "Oh, wonderful," said Miffy. "I love picnics. Shall we invite Auntie Alice?" "Yes, we will," said Father Bunny. "And Auntie Alice always makes such delicious cakes and biscuits." So all the friends were getting ready for a picnic, but none of them knew that the others were doing the same thing. Boris returned from the forest, his arms full of wood, and placed it all inside the circle of stones. "Before I start the fire, I will go and get Barbara," he thought. "She will be surprised when I invite her to a picnic." As Boris left, Poppy and Grunty came walking up the hill, looking for a good place to have their picnic. "Look," said Grunty. "Here is a good place. A fire has already been prepared here. Can we use it?" "I'm not sure we can use this campfire, Grunty," said Poppy. "Someone else has prepared it, not us." But just then she saw Miffy and her parents coming up the hill, carrying a large picnic basket. "Look," said Poppy. "Even Auntie Alice and Snuffy are here. They must have prepared this campfire." "Oh, look," said Mother Bunny. "Poppy and Grunty are here too, and they have prepared a perfect place for a fire." "May we join you?" asked Miffy. "Certainly," said Poppy. "After all, this is your campfire." "No, no," said Father Bunny. "It's not ours." "Then who made it?" asked Poppy. Meanwhile, Boris arrived home. He had secretly prepared a delicious picnic earlier in the morning, and he had hidden the picnic basket in his workshop. Now he came back to collect it. "Barbara, I have a surprise for you." "A picnic! Come with me." So Boris and Barbara walked up the hill. They heard lots of voices. "What a lovely surprise you have made for me, Boris," said Barbara. "You've invited all of our friends to have a picnic on this lovely day." Boris just smiled and said, "Welcome everybody to our picnic. I will now start the fire." "Aha," said Father Bunny. "Aha," said Poppy. "Aha," said Miffy. "It was you, Boris, who prepared the campfire," said Auntie Alice. "Be careful when you light the fire." Boris just smiled again. And they all joined together around the blazing fire and enjoyed a wonderful picnic on a wonderful day. Poppy Pig was passing by Miffy's house, pulling a cart, carrying a large Christmas tree in a pot. "Good morning, Poppy," said Miffy. "Where did you get that beautiful tree?" "Boris gave it to me, Miffy," said Poppy. "Christmas is coming, and I asked him if he could find me a nice tree." "What a good idea," thought Miffy. "We will also need a Christmas tree." Miffy went inside and asked her mother, "May I go into the forest to ask Boris Bear to find us a Christmas tree?" "Yes, Miffy, but you must be home in time for lunch." So off she went, across the meadow and into the forest. When she arrived at Boris and Barbara's house, they were already decorating their own tree for Christmas. "Hello, Boris," said Miffy, "and a Merry Christmas to you and Barbara. I would like to ask you if you can find a nice Christmas tree for our family." "Yes, I can," said Boris. "But you know I mustn't cut down a forest tree. I can dig one up for you and then put it in a pot so the tree can stay alive for next year." So they went into the forest and they saw many beautiful trees. Miffy saw one that was especially beautiful. "But I think that one is too big to put inside our house." "Well, what about that charming little one over there?" "Oh, that one is too small. All our Christmas tree decorations won't fit on such a tiny tree." Then Boris pointed to a medium-sized tree. "Do you think this one will do?" he asked. "Yes," said Miffy. "That's a lovely one. Can you dig that one up for me, please?" So Boris dug up the tree, being very careful not to damage its roots. "I will bring it to your house tomorrow." Miffy was home just in time for lunch, and she told her mother about the lovely tree that Boris was going to bring them. The next evening, Miffy and her mother and her father were busy decorating the tree. It looked so beautiful and even had flashing lights. In the morning, Miffy was on her way to school and little Snuffy was running along with her. When they arrived at the school, there was Boris with a very big tree for the schoolyard. "Hello, Miffy," said Boris. "This is the tree that you said was too big for your house, but I thought it would be just perfect for your school." The school teacher and all the children were very pleased to have such a wonderful tree for their school. All the children were soon at work, making decorations for their new tree. It was going to be so beautiful. Then Boris knocked on the window. "I have another surprise for you, Miffy. I also brought the tiny tree. I think it will be perfect for Snuffy." "How wonderful," said Miffy. "Snuffy's own special Christmas tree to put near her doghouse." All the school children were happy with their big tree. At Christmas, Miffy and her parents were happy with their medium-sized tree. And little Snuffy was very, very happy with her very own tiny tree. One bright summer morning, Miffy was ready to go to school, so she went out to get her scooter. She was very surprised to see that her scooter had turned yellow. "That's very strange," thought Miffy. "I thought my scooter was red." She walked around the scooter. There was nothing remarkable to see, except for the changed colour. Miffy carefully touched the frame to see whether the yellow colour might have been painted on, but it hadn't. She ran back into the house. "Mother," she asked, "can a scooter change colour overnight?" "I don't think so, Miffy," said her mother. "But yesterday my scooter was red, and today it's yellow," said Miffy. "There must be a reason for that, Miffy," said her mother. "Best to take the yellow scooter to school now, and we will solve the puzzle later." So Miffy went to school on the yellow scooter. She was very puzzled. How could this have happened? She wondered. All day she wondered about what had happened to her red scooter, and she couldn't concentrate on her lessons. When class was over, Miffy came out of school with her friend Melanie and looked at the other children's scooters. There was a blue scooter. There was a green scooter. There was a brown scooter, and there were 2 yellow scooters. But there was no red scooter. "Well," said Miffy, "I still have to solve the mystery." Melanie was surprised too. "I thought you had a red scooter, Miffy," she said. "So did I," said Miffy. "But when I woke up this morning, my red scooter had changed into yellow, just like magic." "Would you like to ride home with me, Melanie? Maybe you can help me find out what happened." Melanie got on her blue scooter, and the 2 girls rode to Miffy's house. There they saw a bright red scooter right in front of the house. Miffy was surprised. "How can I have 2 scooters?" she wondered. Just then Miffy's father came out of the house. "Hello, girls. I'm glad you came straight home from school. The yellow scooter must be returned to Grunty." "Grunty?" said Miffy. "Yes, your scooter needed new wheels, Miffy. I asked Poppy Pig if we could borrow Grunty's scooter for 1 day. I took your scooter to Grandfather's workshop. He fixed it this morning. But I promised Poppy to return Grunty's scooter today." "So that explains the mystery," said Miffy. "Let's go visit Poppy and Grunty to return the yellow scooter, and we can bring them some nice fresh carrots from our garden as a present." "That's a good idea," said her father. Miffy and Melanie collected a basket full of carrots. While they were collecting carrots, Miffy said to Melanie, "Sometimes there is mystery in nature as well, like these green leaves. They are actually orange carrots." They all had to laugh. And then they set off to Poppy's house. One day in school, the teacher said, "Today I'm going to show you something special. Let's close the curtains and switch off all the lights." When it was completely dark, the teacher turned on her desk lamp and shone it on the wall. Then she held up a piece of paper that had been cut into the shape of a little girl bunny. "Look," said the teacher. "When I hold this bunny shape in front of the light, you will see her shadow on the wall." And there it was, a great big shadow, exactly in the shape of a girl bunny. "Can you see?" said the teacher. "When anything or anybody is in front of a light, there will be a shadow. You can try it yourselves when you go out in the sunshine." As Miffy and her friends walked home, it was getting dark and the sun was low in the sky. All the trees cast shadows of their trunks across the ground. "Try not to step on the shadows," said Miffy. "Let's jump over them and only walk on the sunny parts." What fun it was! The little girl bunnies giggled and laughed as they jumped along, being very careful not to step on the shadows. Miffy was still laughing when she arrived home and waved goodbye to her friends. At the dinner table that evening, she told her mother and father everything she had learned about light and shadows. But now it was night time and the sun had gone. It was time for Miffy to go to bed. After her mother and father kissed her goodnight, Miffy went into her room and changed into her pajamas. She walked over to her bed and turned off the light. But just then, she saw something move on the wall. She turned the light back on, but she couldn't see anything. When she turned it off, there it was again. "What's that in my room?" thought Miffy. She was a little frightened. She went to her door and called her parents. "Mother, Father, there's someone in my room." Miffy's mother and father came straight away, but they couldn't see anyone in Miffy's room. Except Miffy. "But there is something," said Miffy. "Look! When I turn off the light, I can see something moving along my wall." And there it was. Something very big with very long ears. Father Bunny laughed. Mother Bunny laughed too. "That's your own shadow, Miffy," said her father. "How can it be my shadow?" said Miffy. "There is no sun and the light is off." "But look out the window, Miffy," said her mother. Yes, it was night time and there was no sun. But Miffy could see a full moon shining brightly in the sky. "When the moon is very bright, it can also cast shadows, Miffy," said Father Bunny. "That was your very own shadow moving on the wall, cast by the light of the full moon." Miffy understood and was happy she had discovered her own shadow. On a bright but very cold winter day, Miffy and Grunty were having fun throwing a ball back and forth in Miffy's garden. Snuffy was there too, running and jumping up, trying to catch the ball herself. Then, when Miffy threw the ball, Snuffy caught it in her mouth. Grunty had to laugh, and Miffy too. But when they wanted to continue to play with the ball, Snuffy did not listen to Miffy. "Snuffy, give me the ball," said Miffy. But Snuffy just ran away with it. Then Mother Bunny came out of the house and called, "Isn't it too cold for you to be outside, girls? Even the water in this flower pot is frozen. I have made some hot chocolate for you to warm you up again. Come in, girls." So Miffy and Grunty went in and enjoyed the delicious hot chocolate. Snuffy stayed outside, pushing and chasing the ball. Later, when the two girls were playing in Miffy's bedroom, they heard Snuffy barking and barking. And when they looked out of the window, they saw she was covered with snow. Everything was covered with snow. The snow had fallen so quickly that while they were inside playing, the whole world around them had suddenly become white. All excited, they ran to Mother Bunny. "Mother, Mother," said Miffy, "can't we go to the lake now? It will be so beautiful there, with the snow on the meadow, and maybe the lake will be frozen." "Yes, and we can take the ball too," said Grunty, "so Snuffy can play with it." Just then, Father Bunny arrived home and heard what the girls were saying. "I will drive you to the lake in the car, and I will test the ice on the lake to see if it is thick enough." So Miffy and Grunty and Snuffy all jumped into the car, and they drove to the lake. "Look," said Miffy, "the lake is frozen. We should have brought our ice skates." "Maybe you can bring them another day, Miffy," said Father Bunny. "But for now, I'm sure you'll have lots of fun playing with the ball in the snow." Father Bunny tested the ice. "If the weather stays cold, the ice will be thick enough to go skating in a few days," he said to the girls. "Good," said Grunty. "Let's throw the ball so Snuffy can run after it." That was their new game. Miffy and Grunty took turns throwing the ball out into the snow, and Snuffy had great fun too, slipping and sliding all over the icy snow, trying to catch the ball. She was having such fun. Then, when Miffy threw the ball again, it rolled away too far and onto the lake. "Oh no," said Miffy. "Now the ball is on the ice, and the ice isn't strong enough yet to carry us." But Snuffy had already gone after the ball. "No, Snuffy, the ice isn't strong enough yet," shouted Miffy. This time, Snuffy did stop and listen to Miffy. She turned around and ran back. They were all very relieved. "That was very good, Snuffy. In a few days, we will come back and get it for you."
Miffy, 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 run! With her friends she's having fun. Snuffy, Grunty, Boris Bear, Poppy Pig